This should not be happening in a wealthy country like Australia. Devastatingly, stories like this boy's are not unique, and they are a result of a completely broken housing, homelessness and child support system. In fact, a report out recently has found that in 1 year alone in Australia, about 76,000 kids sought help from homelessness support services. Of that 76,000, 25,000 were homeless even after going through those support systems. On top of that 25,000, another 20,000 kids were turned away by homelessness services because they are chronically underfunded and completely overwhelmed. I'll say it again, this should not be happening in a wealthy country like Australia. The last line in this report really hits home for me. This is a system that's forgotten how to care. And that doesn't just apply to the residential care system, it also applies to our entire housing and homelessness system. How is it that over the next 10 years, property investors will get $176 billion in tax handouts from the government? How is it that the Commonwealth Bank can make a $10 billion profit in the middle of a housing crisis? But apparently the federal government and state governments do not have enough funding to ensure things like this will never happen again. The really frustrating thing for us and the Greens is that we have the solutions, and all it requires is political will and funding. And if you think this boy's life matters, and I think everyone in this country does and should, then we should agree that we should be fully funding our homelessness support services. We'd ensure that when boys like this encounter situations like this, not only do they have a good home to move into, not only do they have good and well-funded homelessness support services, so those 20,000 kids aren't turned away because there's not enough funding or support, but they have access to good carers, well-funded social workers, mental health support. We can do it. We're a wealthy country, but it requires political and economic will, and that's what the Greens are fighting for.
Authorised by Jay McCall, Australian Greens, Canberra.